Okay, so hi Jan, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Fine, fine. And well, thank you for coming to Mexico. Thank you for everything you have done during this weekend. I hope you had a very, very good time with all the people that came to know you. And well, the first thing is I want to know what did you feel when we invited you to Mexico? Because well, we were like talking about like you having this connection with the community, but I would like to know how did you feel?
So actually, Nina and I were kind of joking, like before you even invited us.
Yeah.
We were just like, Nina was like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we went to Mexico for like, just like for something for powerlifting? I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun, right? And then literally like a week later, you guys reached out to us, right? SBD Mexico reached out to us, and my initial reaction, like I remember it, my initial reaction, I saw it, and I ran upstairs to Nina. You remember? I ran upstairs to Nina, and I was like, hey, look, right?
But well,
But yeah, my like the way I felt, I was just like, at first I was like, like, what is it for? Am I going to be teaching? Am I teaching a class or whatever, right? But my initial reaction once I learned it was like a meet and greet, very community focused, and I was just like, oh yeah, hell yeah, oh yeah, like let's do it. Like how soon can I go?
Your reaction was like when you went to Nina, your reaction was by the message that we sent to you or by the formal announcement with the poster and all that?
No, by the message you sent.
By the message,
the message you sent me. I was very excited, right? Okay. And I was just like, okay, let me hold up. Let me let's, what's the logistic, all the things. But no, yeah, I was very, very excited. And I was just like, okay, like, what's the next steps, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you found out it was going to be like a meet and greet, and that was going to be like the dynamic of the event, what did you think about that? Like, okay, it is going to be like a good event for the whole community, or what was your first thoughts about that?
So, yeah, it's exactly that. The whole thing with the meet and greet, my whole idea that I had for doing a meet and greet was that I knew it was an avenue to kind of bring the community together here in Mexico, right? The powerlifting community, and that's it. Like I've mentioned, like I'm very community focused.
Yeah.
I put community first. I always put athlete first. I put people first, right? And that's important. So knowing, with the meet and greet, like you said, I was like, okay, like if me just being there can bring the community together for like a positive event.
Yeah.
A very something good, right? Then I was like, yeah, let's do it. And yeah, I was just very happy that there was an opportunity to do these things that I've been wanting to do. Celebrate the sport together.
Yeah.
Bring awareness to the sport, and in good ways, grow the sport in good ways.
Yeah.
Right. Positive impacts. Right. So it checked all those marks for me. I was just like, let's do it.
And talking about positive impacts in the community, now I think that a lot of people know about the Let's Fight because I was there like translating from English to Spanish, and I listened to all of your answers or some of them, and you were all about like find that passion and find that flame and ignite it,
right,
and keep pushing and let's fight. So in here I want to delve more about the context and all the lore of the Let's Fight slogan, because I know now that it has like a very heavy lore, and so I want you to tell something about why this is coming from you, not from the sport,
right,
but it is coming from your life.
Yeah.
So that's something that I want you to mention it here.
Yeah. So, during the event, I had the privilege to speak with like over 100 different lifters.
Yeah.
Like one-on-one. It wasn't just like, oh, hi, bye. It was like a one-on-one. Like sometimes I feel like we chatted like it was like close to 10 minutes each, each person, right? And I had a one-on-one with, like I mentioned, over 100 people, and that was just such a humbling experience. Right? It's
Yeah.
something I've always wanted, and and the questions I was asked were so there were so many well thought out questions too.
Yeah.
There's your general what can I do for my squad, or just powerlifting questions. But there were some like well thought out and articulated questions asking about like let's fight and like where does your discipline, where does your passion, where does that come from?
Yeah.
Where do you reach? Where do you reach to? Why do you have that?
Yeah.
How do you? I've seen that you can't fake that.
Yeah.
The focus, you can't fake that. You can't fake passion.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You cannot fake passion. So the thing about Let's Fight is, like I've mentioned, for me, it's a very like broad, a very all-inclusive thing. It's just I want everyone to find the passion for whatever it is, but find the passion in your heart. Pursue the happiness that comes alongside it. So what's the worth of a passion if you're not happy?
Yeah.
Right. So those two things are very important, and those are your almost like it's what drives you.
Yeah.
To do the good things.
Yeah.
For yourself. So the lore for Let's Fight, and I trail off. But the lore for Let's Fight, I spoke with your dad.
Yeah.
And we mentioned like he's very, he knew. So he asked me. He was asking me questions. I could tell he knew about that I was born premature.
Yeah. How many months?
So I was born 3 months premature.
Okay.
And I was about 2 pounds, a little under 2 pounds.
Yeah. So
which is,
less than 1 kilogram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
you were like 900 grams. I think more
something.
or less.
Yeah. If you think of like a chip plate
Yeah.
for powerlifting, it's like that.
Yeah, my cell phone is heavier than you. Like
So I spoke to your dad, and he knew that I was premature.
Yeah.
So he even told me like, oh, I wanted to know about you more. So, we've spoken about that like in my Sheffield in this year's Sheffield, leading up to this year's Sheffield.
Okay.
In 2024. We touched on that being premature a little bit, right? But here, let me the conversation with your dad was very profound for me. We spoke about like what significance did that have for me?
Yeah.
Being premature, because like I mentioned, is even as early as being when I was like 8 years old, my mom would tell me like, hey, like you pretty much died, but like you were born early. She had a C-section for me.
Okay.
And they took me out, and they basically had to like revive me.
Yeah.
And then they had to do surgery on me because I had an infection in my intestine.
Okay.
Right.
So the surgery was just when you were born.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
like right then.
Okay.
So I was, because I remember my mom tells me that they told her like don't even bother. It's expensive. The chances are so low. So it's just gonna, it's just like it'll put you into like just a financial thing, even just a financial thing.
But it is funny because it is funny. I haven't talked about this, but your mom was fighting for you.
Yeah.
So
No,
let's fight is also coming from that essence of your mom.
I feel like we joke about it a lot, but that's kind of probably where my passion comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
she didn't give up.
My mom's very, very competitive.
Yeah, and she was competing against death.
Yeah. Even so before I strayed, she like we were I was born premature, and even as early, like I mentioned, even from an early age, my mom explained that to me.
Yeah,
because I have a scar that I'm missing a little bit of abdominal muscles.
Yeah,
and it's so I always wondered when I was a kid, I was like, why do I have this, right? And my mom. She was like always worried I was gonna have problems because that's a normal thing.
Yeah,
it's expected. You're like, oh, like you didn't fully grow.
Yeah.
Maybe something didn't fully develop because you just came out so early.
Yeah,
and like you might have problems in life. Because even as an adult, I went back and spoke to like I met like one of the nurses and doctors that took care of me.
Yeah,
and they're like, wow, like you look good,
Yeah.
They're like,
you look strong.
and so they they're very surprised about that as well. But like I mentioned, even at an early age, when my mom spoke to me about that, it gave me a good sense, even at like 8 years old,
Yeah.
I had a sense of like my own mortality,
Yeah.
right? And you know, you only realize these things as you kind of like process as you get older too. It's just like, so I had that like idea of my own mortality. I understood that. So even at an early age, like with this conversation, it's just like I feel like I've had a second chance at life. I had that feeling even when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like, you know, even I remember I would always fall back onto that even as a kid. Like, even I'm just going to play basketball or, you know, just like being competitive in a sport or whatever. I'm like, okay, I did bad and I feel like crap.
Yeah.
But foundational wise, I always think back like, well, I'm not even supposed to be here anyways. Or like, you know, this is, you know,
Yeah.
like, so I was like, even as a kid, I was like, screw it. Let's, like, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep fighting, you know?
I think that this has a lot of cohesion with your like let's fight passion, because you're telling us have fun, find something to enjoy, and also keep that passion like in the fire so that you can keep pushing and keep fighting. And that's also, I think that that type of way of thinking is going to come a lot for a lot of persons when you are like acknowledging that you're not going to stay here forever and that you have to take advantage of each moment and that you have to be doing something that you're enjoying, because at least everyone must know that we have like this temporal uh, like this temporal existence that is going to go out and go all dark at some given moment, you know. And having this like in your mind like you do because of all of the situations that you have lived in all of your life, well, I think that's why you have this like very profound meaning for you about let's fight.
Right. You know, so, you know, I've mentioned on like podcasts before and some other things about just like my losses in life for me, you know, that I've personally experienced.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a lot of like just unnatural passings of,
Yeah.
you know, like close people who are close to me, friends and family. You know, even at an early age too. You know, so I always had that, even like more, it always hammer in more of my own mortality into my own self and perspective. A perspective of just like, okay, like yeah, you go play games and have fun, but
Yeah.
like how can I better myself? How
Yeah.
can you know, like, you know, if I'm gonna be gone tomorrow, if I'm gonna be gone in like a year, which is possible, which I was already like, even as like before I was even a teenager, even then I was like, you know, I might not even be here next year anyways.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I might as well like, what's the point of me being like sad?
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, it doesn't mean don't be sad, but what's the point of me being like sedentary
Yeah.
as a person?
Yeah.
So, you know, so I always kind of found that always kind of ignited that passion to just be better, just try and be better and like grow every day.
So here's something that is very important that you're saying is it is not bad to feel sadness, to feel anger, to feel like disappointment, because that's normal. Those are human feelings, and we all are humans.
Right.
But the thing is, acknowledge them and keep fighting against them so that you can go out of that like rabbit hole of maybe depression, maybe stress, maybe anger. That I think that all of us have been in that kind of places, you know. And what you're saying is feel it, acknowledge it,
Right.
like think that that's normal, and then keep fight and let's fight against that, you know.
Yeah, you know, it's emotions are normal.
Yeah.
It's just how we process them.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, I get mad. It's surprising. I used to have a terrible temper. You know that?
Yeah. Nina
I
told me
used to
about
have a
that.
terrible
Yeah.
temper.
I was like that too.
Yeah,
You know?
you know, I think everyone has that time
Yeah.
in their life where there's just everything, you know, things make you mad. Things
They're really aggressive, yeah.
you know, and but you know, it's about how we process things. You know,
Yeah.
where no matter what you're gonna perceive, you're gonna kind of consume things in life, but it's about how you can process it and like, okay, what expression do I get
Yeah.
out of it, right? So yeah, you know, feeling emotions it's completely normal.
Yeah.
Like just because you're mad doesn't mean you're not. Like you can be mad, but it's how you
Process
like
it.
it's how you process
Yeah.
it, right? Are you gonna punch a wall?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna like, okay, let me take a step back. Like I'm currently mad.
Like
but
breathe.
let me breathe a second. You
Yeah.
know. So it's exactly that, you know, and it's about being sensible at the end
Yeah.
of the day, right? And yeah, so emotions are fine. Emotions are a human thing.
Yeah.
And we're all human,
Yeah.
so, but just be very, again, like I'll be a broken record and say it all the time, but even if it helps someone, just stay conscious of yourself,
Yeah.
because then you can always like, okay, let me take a step back and process what's happening. It doesn't just have to be an emotion. It's like something just happened.
Yeah.
Like I just got in a car crash.
Yeah.
Like a fender bender. And
Or I failed the lift.
Or I failed the lift. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, am I gonna like throw my bell and like, okay, sure, you're frustrated, but am I gonna like punch a wall and yell at someone, or yell, start crying, and I've seen that happen. I've seen people like they become very, they'll like leave the gym.
Yeah.
They'll leave. They'll just take their stuff and leave. And it's just like, well, why? What was that for?
Yeah.
Like,
what are you earning by doing that?
Yeah, like what, it's just that applies to everything. Like what, like if you can stop yourself and be like, okay, that sucked, but can we finish today? What can we do to make sure we're still productive?
Yeah.
So it's not such a black and white thing. Like something bad can happen, and I'm not saying like be like, oh yeah, whatever. You're not.
It is impossible.
Yeah, you're not like happy-go-lucky, but it's
Yeah.
just like, okay, like let me. Okay, I failed the lift. Am I okay? Okay, cool. Like I'm mad right now. Let me take a second, but let me finish my session and do it right. And that applies to anything. Like, okay, I got an fender bender. Am I gonna go out and yell at this guy, or am I gonna punch his window? Those things happen.
Yeah.
And then you don't know what he has in his car.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're in deep shit. But it's really just how well can you process things?
Yeah.
On the it's a lot of people have trouble processing in the moment.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes important to become very self-aware.
Yeah.
Right. And just being like, okay, here's me. Like, what am I feeling?
Yeah. And also talking about emotions, in this case, you have met a lot of Mexican powerlifters, and a lot of them like opened their heart with you and told you about some of their experiences. So I want to know like which were like the most emotional moments for you during this visit to Mexico. It can be like being here or afterwards when you were like in your bed and thinking about it, or during the meet and greet. So which were those moments in which you felt like, oh God, this is like very profound and I feel like a lot of this?
So like I mentioned, there were so many good questions that were asked, but the few that stood out to me, one guy was the one, he didn't even ask me questions. He just walked up. First thing he was like, hey, thank you for being you. You are an inspiration and a good example and role model that you're setting for the new generation of lifters. So even that's like already kind of making me, but like I hope for these things.
Yeah.
But it's different when someone tells you.
Yeah.
Because it's like I hope this is good, or I hope I get hired, but it's different when they're like, you're hired.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah.
Right. So, but he's like, so thank you for being a good example, being a good role model for the next generation. He said a lot of good things. But I'm trying to give you the key points. It's just, he basically told me to keep fighting. And he says, I took great inspiration. I understand what you mean when you say keep fighting.
Yeah.
Like I could, like I said, when someone, when they know, like that it's deeper, that it's not rudimentary how they feel.
Yeah.
And he said, like, never change. You don't change.
Yeah.
Like, he even told me, he was like, please stay like grounded in who you are. You've done a fantastic job thus far.
Yeah.
I've been following you for a long time. Everyone here loves you, and they know what you mean when you say like keep fighting. And he's like, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to finally tell you that like I see what you want. I see what you are trying to give.
Yeah.
What you're trying to express. And for that, he was like, I just want to thank you.
I think that you already knew before coming to Mexico that you were like really loved in here. But as you're saying, it is different knowing that by like looking at social media or stories than having the persons in there and telling you you're an inspiration. And I heard a lot of people that were talking about you being a role model. And as I told you already, it is because of how you are. You are humble. You are like really hardworking, and you express that in your social media. And I was also talking that with Nina, that some persons are using social media to be kind of fake. You know, they are only showing some side of their lives, and you're like always showing the overall thing, and don't only like look at the good, but also look at the bad, and know how to handle that, because that's going to happen. It happens to me, it happens to you, it happens to everyone in this room, you know. So I think that's something that is very important. You're saying some things are good to be like watching them through like the window, but it is different for than having the person like telling you you're an inspiration. And I am really grateful for all the people that came to talk with John, because now you are like knowing all of the meaning for him of all of the words that you said to him. So that was one of the experiences. Do you have another person that came out and talked with you with like these kind of things?
Yeah, I had one more. One, it's interesting. They were there. I'm not sure if they were like partners or I didn't know the relationship. But basically, one was kind of mentioned that they were kind of recovering from being in a dark place in their life, and I could tell. I could tell by their body language. I could tell by how they looked at me, how they said it, and I was like, well, yeah.
You cannot fake Beth.
You cannot fake being hurt.
Yeah, no.
You can't fake someone who's been in pain.
Yeah.
So they asked me two good questions. One was, what's your favorite film?
Okay.
And they were just like, we just wanted to ask you like a random, just away from lifting and things like that. Because, it's actually interesting. They probably didn't fully mean this by asking that, but you can tell a lot by, people, if they can, by what their favorite things are. You can learn a lot about a person, right? And for me, real quick, I told them my favorite film is a movie called Perfect Days.
Okay, Perfect Days.
It's a very philosophical movie.
Okay.
It's based on a like a Japanese term. That's the whole movie that the movie is based off of.
Because you were talking about like that term is like the light going through the leaves.
So we spoke about it. And they're very surprised. They're like, "Oh yeah," because the guy apparently was like a film school.
Yeah,
something around those lines. So he was like, "Yeah, I know that movie." And basically what that movie is telling you is, it's appreciate the small things.
Yeah.
But in what sense? It's not just like, "Oh yeah, I saw this tree grow and I was like, oh cool," It's like really appreciating the small things of just the basis of the term and the how that movie came about is when it's kind of interesting, but it's like when light's coming through the leaves of a tree and it's reflecting on the floor, you see all the leaves, and the term, the Japanese phrase is basically saying this moment in time of the light shining through can only happen in this moment.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, so it's very profound in the sense of like, okay, now is now.
Yeah.
There's a big term in that movie. It basically says, now is now, and next time is next time.
Yeah.
And if you think about that for a second, now is now. The light's coming through the trees and shining, and it's for a lot of people it's a very beautiful thing. You can sit there and look at it, and that can only happen in this moment, and and it'll be gone. So don't miss it.
Yeah,
that's the point. It's like the darkness, the light can only happen with the darkness, and vice versa.
And I am thinking about, maybe I am looking at a lot of details, but do you agree that being like the sun in the same position and the leaves in the same position that they were when you were looking at the floor is going to be really difficult to replicate that position of the sun and that position of the leaves, and that moment is going to be unique.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing.
It is not going to be you're not going to be able to repeat that moment.
Yeah.
So if you're not taking the most out of it, you're going to just pass through it, and that's a huge difference about passing through moments and living the moments.
Mhm.
You know?
Exactly.
And having this knowledge and this being aware of how this is just temporal, and the now is now and the next day is the next day, is very, very difficult to handle for our people, because we live in a world that is stressing you out all the time.
It's very fast. It's
very,
very
fast
very
pacing.
fast
Yeah.
paced. Mhm.
So that, I think that's also a good way to like having all this message in one movie. I
Yeah.
get why it is your
why,
favorite
yeah,
movie, you know?
why that movie really it spoke to me, right?
Yeah.
Because it's something, you know, that for me, that's how I kind of operate. That's my vibes.
And I think, yeah, you operate like that because I am not going to lie to you. You were like very tired during the event, and I was like looking at you. You were tired, but you were like, I want to be here. I want to be here, and I want to take advantage of being here,
Yeah.
because it is not going to be. I am not going to be able to repeat this exact moment, because I can come to Mexico again. I can meet other people, but these people and this event and this place and with all of this context, and being the first time that something like this is done, it is not going to be repeated, you know?
Right.
And I was like able to see that in your eyes, because you were like, no, I want to stay here. And if more people come, I want to be here, because it is not going to be a next time like this one.
Right.
And that's like, because of what I am telling you, like the leaves and the sun and the leaves are not going to be in the same position
Right.
as they were yesterday. It is not going to be repeated.
Right.
So having like this sense of temporal change is very important, and I think that's how you operate.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Exactly.
that's really cool.
Exactly. You know, so no, that makes me happy you saw that.
Yeah.
You know, because I definitely was very tired.
Yeah, I know.
So, but you know, no, I was going in. I knew I'd be tired, but again, like I said, like I told a lot of people, like, your passion, whatever it is, find the passion and that pursuit of happiness. That will outlast anything really in your lifetime.
You were tired and you still got that deadlift.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
crazy. This is also a good showcasing of how strong you are. And I want to say something that you may not remember, that you told me, or Nina told me, I don't remember. But you said that for that, and this is for the people that is watching us, you said and you mentioned that for that heavy bench before you came to Mexico, you go and you went like, this is for them. This is for that people. I'm not going to fail this bench because this is for them. So it is awesome to know how you act and how you operate, how you like, how you put all of the passion in all the things you do,
Right.
and how you give that passion to people so that they can accomplish their goals, and how you do everything for others and not only for you. And I think that's awesome. So the movie question was one, and which was the other one?
They were just kind of talking to me about, like, you know, just the. Well, I lied. That's just one question, but we talked about like the movie, you know.
Yeah.
We talked about the movie basically for a while after that, and like so, and it really, I could tell it was very a good conversation, because they realized something about the movie.
Yeah.
When I explained it, because they just the as far as I saw, they told me the takeaway they got from the movie, the message, both of them, was that it was just appreciate the small things, which is great, but it's you know, but why? It's about why, like how and why to appreciate the small things.
Yeah.
It was when it becomes very like more deep for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And again, it's about how everyone perceives something different.
Yeah.
Right. But you know, for the the person who was like, you know, they're kind of I could tell, you know, they're kind of coming from a
dark place.
a dark place of pain, a place that they probably previously were kind of in pain. You know, I could tell they were like I saw like, oh, like they were like, oh, like that's what that meant.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, they thank me for just same thing, just being a good example and encouraging people to continue fighting.
Yeah.
And that's exactly that. You know, I know people. I've been there. I know people who have had we all have difficult times. Everyone, you know. And I know people, and sometimes it's a little longer for some people.
Yeah.
and that's normal. That's like I mentioned, that's like the ebb and flow of life,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes it's a little lower, and sometimes you can stay up here a little higher, right? But the main thing I wanted to say to that person, when they thanked me and we hugged, and is what I always say to someone I know who's, because it's something I wish I could have said to some people who chose to leave, right?
Yeah.
And I told them to take care of yourself and keep fighting.
Yeah.
Like please, I will, I'll go if you need me to go run out, to prove this. If I have to go run into the street, get hit by a car or something, I'll do it. But if it means you keep fighting,
Yeah, I know.
Hold on to, I'll say it over and over and over. Like find that passion, find what makes you happy, and hold on to it.
Yeah.
Because that, because the same thing with life, that passion and even the happiness, unfortunately, it's like this. Sometimes you're extremely happy in the day. You're very passionate about everything. You can take on the world.
Yeah.
And some days you're just like, I just want to stay home and watch a movie and
and staying there.
Yeah.
And it may be from one day to another. It can be from a moment to another, from a minute to another.
Yeah, literally.
You can be
like an hour to
pretty
hour.
happy right now, and something may happen in the next hour, in the next minute, and you're going to be in a really, really low.
Yeah.
But having this sense of how you can manage yourself,
exactly.
and you can breathe and let's space ourselves and let's keep calm so that we can fight then. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think those were 3 good moments, very sensitive moments. And then can you tell me which were a top 3 of happy moments of what you are oh God, this is going pretty good and I am pretty excited, because I know it is a difference. Both are emotions, but one is very deep and the other one is pretty showing up.
The more fun, expressive side. And the first one that comes to mind was I can't remember. It was I think it was someone came up to me during the meet and greet, and they were just shaking, and they were just I hadn't even said anything yet, and they just started crying, and I was just I'm sorry, no, but they, I was oh, it's okay, and they're oh, I'm sorry, and they're just it's just it's just that the message you have successfully pushed.
Yeah.
It resonates with me, and they were telling me I follow powerlifting and I know a lot of I follow a lot of powerlifters and everyone, but with you there's a deeper connection I feel.
Yeah.
And they were even saying I still don't fully understand it, but I just know it's there. I feel the big thing is I feel you understand.
Yeah.
Right? You understand. And then, I guess for me that was a happy thing.
Yeah, obviously.
Because, I'm just I'm okay, someone gets it,
Yeah.
Someone gets what I'm, what
I'm trying to say.
What I'm trying to say,
the message of my
exactly,
words.
Right?
So that was one.
That was one. Lifting with everyone was probably my favorite thing of the entire thing, because at the end of the day we like to lift, right?
Yeah, obviously.
So and that's what's so cool, I've lifted with people around the world.
Yeah.
I've had that privilege, and it's such a luxury in life to even do even this, right? And just even for me, it's kind of slowing down and just lifting with the community, spending time with people, talking to them about life. And just lifting, talking about lifting, and they ask me questions hey, what can I do about my bench? What can I do about my deadlift? Right? And to me, that's just that's it. That's literally what gave me as they asked me more questions, I felt my passion, my happy gauge going, So I enjoyed that quite a bit, and I probably could have stayed there, if we didn't have a time limit.
Yeah.
I probably could have stayed lifting until midnight with them, because it's just fun for me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to, there's a group of people, I'm trying to go back and forth, and I'm trying my best to, that, oh wait, I have to lift a little too,
And again, coming back to what you said, you knew it was a unique moment.
Yes.
So you were trying to like make the most out of it and teach and like share the passion and the moments, and also like letting everyone there watch you doing that deadlift was like also awesome because you enjoy it. But I am sure that all of the persons that were there enjoy it even more than you, because it is like you're like a legend in powerlifting and you're a good person. But let's not forget that you are a very, very good athlete also. Right. You're like, for me, you're the GOAT. So, you know, it was also very impressive. So I think that's also pretty cool.
I was surprised I pulled that 340 deadlift like that fast, because I watched it again. I was like, oh, that was like, I had like 350, 355 like on that day.
Yeah. Tired. After spending all the day standing up.
Yeah, I just traveled.
Yeah.
You know, for like whole day. And then, you know, we did the I did the deadlift after the meet and greet.
Yeah.
And so I had been standing and, you know, just, you know, spending chit-chatting, doing other things. I was very active, running around.
Yeah, you were not seated.
Yeah, the whole day, because I deadlifted at the end of the day. Another thing, the elevation. That was interesting. The elevation is interesting because I feel it. I feel because I'm very, like, because I'm good with, like, I'm very, I do a lot of breathing exercises, like all the time.
Yeah.
So, I feel the difference in the elevation compared to where I'm.
Yeah.
Because I'm where I am. I'm very at sea level.
Yeah.
Right. Is that right? Like low.
Yeah. Like very, very low, very low.
Yeah.
And
But,
we are
like here is so. I think this might be the highest I've ever lifted in. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have less pressure in here.
Yeah. Because you know where you know where I live, it's like 300 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
And Mexico City is around 7,500 feet ish.
More than double. More than the double.
300.
No, 300. No, okay. No, like
7,000.
20 times. More than 20 times. Yeah.
So
no, it's
so
incredible.
I was thinking about. I was like, like, I feel it, but I think so. I think that's another thing. You know, like that would be the next fun thing. Was that deadlift?
Okay.
Was because I pulled 320. I wasn't playing music.
Yeah.
I was kind of just like hanging out,
like chilling.
Yeah, just chilling. And I was like, I feel like I can pull 340 right now. You know, and I was like, okay, but you know, I put my headphones on, and I was like, I started like getting myself amped up, like I'm gonna lift, and you know, for me, like, I wasn't thinking about the lift. I was like, I'm here, I'm with the community in Mexico. I was like, one, I'm not gonna miss this lift. That's not happening. But two, I felt that whole day. That was kind of like me feeling the whole day's just good vibes, the welcoming, the passion, the hospitality that I've been receiving so much. That's what like really, you know, my heart felt very, very full walking up to that deadlift. So I had, you know, there was no like, I was like, all I have to is like, the only thing left is like, how fast can I make this? Basically,
but you are gonna make it.
Yeah. You know, so and that's what fuels me. You know, that's what's one of my big fuels. Right?
Yeah. So in fact, the passion that you talk about was there. Mm-hmm. Your heart was full, and all of those things that were inside your heart were driving that passion that made you feel so sure that you were not going to fail that deadlift, and also because you were strong. But that was
it's still like a fair weight for me too.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, obviously.
And honestly, that's like the fastest I've ever pulled it in my life.
Okay.
Yeah, even faster when I pulled 350 afterwards. You know, like So. I feel like fresh, you know, I want to put it far from like 360. Yeah. You know, because I definitely felt good for 350, like I mentioned, 350, 355 2 days ago at this point. But you know, like that was the one last fun thing that I want to mention is all the gifts I was given.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you mention some of them?
I actually had no idea. Like, you know, coming in, I was just like, okay, we're going to do the meeting. You know, like you have an idea, like you try and plan and kind of have just kind of have a thought process of like, okay, how the day's going to go, you know, but something I completely didn't even consider. Yeah. Is that people brought me gifts. And it wasn't just like, it was a lot of gifts. You know, I was given like a table full of gifts. Yeah. You know, I posted like I posted pictures, but it was incredible. You know, like I got this how do you say his name? The Simi?
Yeah, the Dr. Simi. Yeah.
You know, and I was
with the SBD singlet.
With the SBD singlet and everything, and you know, like that's what this is for. You know, it's just like, if I can bring everyone together, and like the vibes, I was doing the meet and greet. I was very busy, but I saw it when people came to meet. Nina told me that everyone, waiting in line, everyone was smiling, everyone had a good time. I feel like every single person's experience was very good, and positive.
Yeah.
From the 2 days of the event. And think about that. It's over 100 plus people.
Yeah.
And there was every single person was like so happy.
And of a lot of different ages. You have my dad, like he's 60 years old. You have like 17 years old kid in the Tequila Train also. And you have like these different type of people, several contexts. Some that are working, some others that are like already only studying, others are studying and working. So you like chatted with a lot of people that are like very different, and they were like having this connection with you, even though they are like from different contexts also. So that was such great, right?
Yeah. So that for me that was probably those were the major things, and then why it was such a great experience. It's exactly what I was hoping. But yeah, even more than what I was hoping. As clever. I didn't expect such a warm welcome.
Yeah.
Such hospitality and love, and like such open arms to be like, and just to be embracing to the culture. I walked around Mexico City for a little, where we were able to go around a little, and I've been able to see the city. Like I've been eating a lot of good food, and just being a little.
Tacos.
Yeah, I think I'm like 20 at this point. I don't wait to gain still some good, but
So that's it.
yeah, that's it. But and just kind of immersing myself and being a local too. That's been. Just with you guys, and just like, okay, like, what do you want to bring? Just take me eating, I'll go eat. What do you want to eat? That's been such a good experience for me as well, outside of being that.
So you're like having this awesome experience, not only because of the event, but also because of the country, and I'm liking that a lot. So one other question. Now, tell me 3 things of the Mexican culture that you're liking. It can be anything.
Oh, about here?
Yeah, like it can be like the way of people, like how people live, or it can be like the music, or it can be like also the food. So, what is like the key points, or like the most good points that you're like having from Mexican culture? Because now you know a lot of people.
Yeah.
Now you know a lot of things. Now you know the country. Now you know the streets. So.
Yeah. It's not just like I mentioned, like it was very
One.
very warm, right?
Yeah.
Very like. I never felt out of place. I never felt unwelcome.
Okay. So we make you feel like home.
At home. Yeah, like I was just like blended in. Well, like in that sense, right? You're just like I'm just
And you
a
feel
part of
it.
it,
Yeah.
Exactly. And so then the next would be the food. And today, later today, we're gonna like me. I'm gonna eat a lot more today. And I've been, especially like the foods that I cannot get,
Yes. Because it is a lot different.
It's different, and there's just something there's no way. I've never seen it built. I see a lot of Mexican dishes on it.
Yes.
Yeah. But like a lot of these things, a lot of the dishes, they were, or like the what's the breakfast one? The
torta de tamal.
Yeah. You said that's like
the torta de tamal with the tole. That is not the rest. Yeah.
And so for me, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And that was like, oh wait, this is good. And then there was the sweet tamale with it.
And
then I put it in. And
because you had the mole tamale and the sweet tamale.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is good. You get it all, and like you mentioned, it's only like a Mexico City thing.
Yeah. Even outside Mexico City, that's like
Weird.
What are you doing?
Yeah. So, it's just been very fun. Whenever I go places, I try to like immerse myself and be very present.
Yeah.
Right? And it comes back down to that.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And so I like to be a living, kind of straight up, I like to be a living example of what I'm trying to teach. And I was just like, just enjoy, try to find what makes you happy, and try to enjoy things. I know a lot of guys, they think it's weird to enjoy things. You know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah.
No, it's just happening, and I am here. Like, I am like a stone, and nothing's happening around me.
You know, and I was told I used to be very stoic. I think maybe I still am. I don't know. But I've learned to be like, yes, I'm happy with this, and like this is good food. And before I'd be so like, oh, I should, you just feel like, oh yeah, you look good.
But you knew it was really good, but you were like, oh yeah. You were not that expressive.
Yeah, exactly. So, I've learned, there's nothing wrong with feeling emotion. Yeah. That's the thing, like if you're sad, be sad, go cry. But don't hold it in, like, it doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with crying. Yeah. If you're mad and if you like yell and do, just in an appropriate place, right? Yeah. Then go do it. If that's your way to do it, you need to go out, you need to go bicycle somewhere, you need to yell at something, you yell at a tree,
Go do it.
That's okay. It's like, but never feel bad, feel easy. Yeah. So, and that's public, like enjoying your food and, and like stubbing your toe. Yeah. So, okay, one more thing.
That's
It's impressive. When I was flying here, with the little Grizzly, I would say this is the biggest city I've ever been in.
It is a really big city.
It is a big city. I knew Mexico City was big, but I didn't understand it until I saw it.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Yeah. But when I saw it on the plane, I was like, I was going crazy. I was like, oh my goodness, like look at this place, and it's fantastic, and I know everywhere is like, there's good and bad, but the city has been fantastic, just walking around, just meeting the people of the city and just like indulging into just being here. Yeah. That's just, that's it. Even if it's just like walking around at night, I just walked around at night and it was kind of almost people watched. As I walked by, like kind of raining, at a Cola, and you hear the rain, people just chatting. Just walking, so I was looking at people, it's like, this is life, there's just people living here, and this is life, a lot of people don't think about stuff. I'd be like, so.
We often feel like the center of the universe.
Exactly.
When you look at something this big, for example, or when you go and you watch the rain, you watch the other people, you then say like, okay, there's a lot of people living in the night around. I am just like a very small part of all of this universe. Let's get the most out of it.
Yeah. And on that topic, there's a good, there's a famous, we're talking about mortality, and just like kind of our own mortality and others, right? Like in 100 years, all of us, there's going to be a whole new set of Pokemon generation. Look at it that way, It's really just a whole new generation of everyone, all these things will be gone. Yeah. That's just life. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just life. There's a good saying, and I say that a lot. It's just there have been so many people in history who are much smarter than you and I. Much smarter. But where are they? They're all dead. So, but so it's up to us to leave, hopefully, some type of lasting impression.
Yeah.
If there's anything we can do, is leave a lasting positive impression. Yeah. You can leave people a lot better.
Leave a blueprint. A blueprint that is going to be good for the ones that follow us.
Exactly. Exactly. So, that's just kind of like I really do feel this way. This is really how I operate. It's just like, what is the better for humanity at the end of the day, right? So it's me like compulsively like someone said this about you, or someone like you should and it's like what,
you can only
what
give
does
what
that
it
mean? It doesn't even matter.
And you can only give what it's intended to. So if other people is like being aggressive, that's
on them.
That's them. I don't have to respond like in the same way, because that's not me.
Exactly.
That's not me.
It's up to you how you respond. And I can't. It's not up to me how they respond. But I'll help you out. So
Delta, and increíble.
So those are the three things.
People. Really, yeah. Really
That's a good, like you can find a lot of that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now let's like do like these little questions. I will ask some questions and they're going to be like fast response. Okay. Just
Rapid
like
fire.
yeah. So favorite anime,
Dragon Ball.
favorite anime character,
Goku.
favorite DVD collection.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because this is the first one I did for SBD.
Okay.
The first collection that I was the person.
Favorite Mexican taco.
Ooh, yeah, the octopus one was good.
That's the first one.
Yeah, no, actually,
One from yesterday.
yeah, I kept thinking about it.
I dreamt about it. Perfect. Favorite Mexican beverage.
Oh, that the
The horchata.
no. Oh, well, I love that. But oh my god.
That's all it.
No, the one with the can.
The can.
Oh, the boy.
That's not because of
Yeah.
in the tortas.
Yeah, I knew it was like my head wanted to say like jump, but you say like more.
Yeah. It was the mango one.
I have both.
And you have
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Okay, guava.
I have one.
Okay, and which one was your favorite? Mango. Guava.
Mango.
Yeah,
I just thought,
that's a good.
What are the flavors are there? I want to find them.
Yeah, there's like strawberry, orange, apple, grape.
Tamarindo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, I have that. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, we'll get you some. Okay, so I think that's those were like the quick questions, and then I would like to close with: do you want to say something for the community?
Thank you for coming out. Yeah, is it the camera there?
Yeah, that's a
So-
clap, or that's a
Yeah.
clap. That's one.
So, for the community that came out from Mexico, thank you for coming out. You know, this was such a profound experience, just meeting everyone and like we mentioned, just kind of immersing and meeting everyone. It's just been such a big honor for me. It's a privilege. It really is a privilege that I don't take lightly. You know, and it's something I hold for the rest of my life. You know, this is an experience I'll always remember. And this goes up to the entire community of powerlifting as well. It's just like the same thing. It's okay for us to celebrate this sport. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's just it's a beautiful sport with a lot of beautiful people. You know, and we are one community. You know, the powerlifting community. We all like the white belt. So, yeah. Just thank you for coming. It was such an honor for me to be a part of this event.
So, yeah, one thing, the Tequila Train was really nice, but that shot of tequila was probably the strongest I've ever had.
Yeah.
And we were joking that like, oh, this was literally set your heart ablaze. Like literally, like yeah. The whole like I've never felt such a burn the whole way.
Yeah, you know.
But it was nice.
Yeah, that tequila is one of the strongest one. And well, also talking about the Tequila Train, I told you something, and I want to tell those words to you again. Man, this event was for the Mexican community, was to like make this avenue for all the community to join, but this event was also for you. And you are part of the community, so you enter in that part, but this was for you because you are like an example for a lot of people. You are an example for me. And now I am confident that you are also an example for Larissa and all the people that have heard your words, you know? So I know what you are capable of. I know what you have been through. I know all of the things that you have like accomplished and all of the rabbit holes that you have gone out of when there were like dark places. I know that you know and you acknowledge this temporal life of ours. And you also know that this is like your second opportunity. And just as my father mentioned, you are making the best out of it. And I am like sure that you are going to keep doing that. So I admire you. you are the GOAT for me. Not only the GOAT of powerlifting, but some of the GOATs of living, you know? So let's fight, let's live, and see you in the next.